Stars are born from the gravitational collapse of dense regions within giant molecular clouds of gas and dust. These clouds are composed mostly of hydrogen and helium, the two lightest elements in the universe. As these clouds collapse under their own gravity, they fragment into smaller clumps that eventually form protostars. These protostars are not yet undergoing nuclear fusion in their cores, but they are heating up as they continue to contract. The formation of a star is a delicate balance between gravity pulling material inward and internal pressure pushing outward. Once the core temperature reaches about 10 million degrees Celsius, nuclear fusion ignites and the star is born. This marks the beginning of the star's main sequence phase, where it will spend the majority of its life. The process of star formation can take millions of years, depending on the size of the protostar and the surrounding environment. Larger stars tend to form more quickly than smaller ones, as their greater mass leads to faster collapse and higher core temperatures. The formation of stars is a crucial process in the universe, as it is responsible for creating the heavy elements necessary for life. As stars undergo nuclear fusion in their cores, they produce elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron, which are essential building blocks for planets and ultimately life. Without the formation of stars, the universe would be devoid of the elements needed to support life as we know it. Studying the formation of stars can provide valuable insights into the processes that govern the evolution of galaxies and the creation of new planetary systems. By observing young stars in various stages of formation, scientists can piece together the timeline of events that lead to the birth of a star. This information can help us better understand the conditions necessary for star formation and the factors that influence the size and lifespan of a star. The formation of stars is a complex and fascinating process that continues to captivate astronomers and astrophysicists around the world. During the main sequence phase of a star's life, it is in a state of equilibrium where the force of gravity pulling inward is balanced by the pressure pushing outward from nuclear fusion in its core. This phase can last for billions of years, depending on the mass of the star. Stars like our Sun spend the majority of their lives in this phase. The main sequence phase is characterized by the stable burning of hydrogen into helium in the star's core. This process releases energy in the form of light and heat, which is what makes stars shine. As the star continues to burn hydrogen, it gradually exhausts its fuel supply in the core. Over time, the core contracts and heats up, causing the outer layers of the star to expand and cool, leading to an increase in the star's size and brightness. This expansion phase is known as the red giant phase. During this phase, the star's outer layers become less dense, and the star's surface temperature decreases, giving it a reddish appearance. Eventually, the core of the star becomes hot and dense enough to start burning helium into heavier elements like carbon and oxygen. This marks the beginning of the next phase in the star's life cycle. The main sequence phase is crucial for understanding the evolution of stars and the formation of elements in the universe. It is during this phase that stars like our Sun produce elements essential for life, such as carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. These elements are later dispersed into space when the star reaches the end of its life cycle and sheds its outer layers in a spectacular explosion known as a supernova. The main sequence phase also plays a key role in determining the ultimate fate of a star. Stars with lower mass, like our Sun, will eventually exhaust their fuel and shed their outer layers to form a planetary nebula, leaving behind a dense core known as a white dwarf. On the other hand, more massive stars will undergo a series of fusion reactions, producing heavier elements in their cores until they can no longer support themselves against gravity. This leads to a catastrophic collapse and explosion known as a supernova, leaving behind either a neutron star or a black hole. The main sequence phase is a critical stage in the life of a star, shaping its evolution and influencing the formation of new stars and planets in the universe. Evolution is a process that has shaped life on Earth for billions of years. From simple single-celled organisms to complex multicellular beings, the journey of evolution is a fascinating one. In the context of stars, we can also observe stages of evolution that shape their life cycles. Just like living organisms, stars go through different phases as they age. The birth of a star marks the beginning of its evolution. It starts as a cloud of gas and dust, slowly collapsing under its own gravity. As the material gathers in the center, the pressure and temperature rise, eventually triggering nuclear fusion. This is the birth of a star, where it starts shining brightly and releasing energy into space. The main sequence phase is the longest stage in a star's life. During this phase, a star fuses hydrogen into helium in its core, maintaining a delicate balance between gravity pulling inwards and radiation pushing outwards. Our Sun is currently in this stable phase, converting hydrogen into helium and releasing energy in the form of light and heat. As a star exhausts its hydrogen fuel, it enters the next phase of its evolution. Depending on its mass, a star can take different paths towards the end of its life. Low to medium mass stars, like our Sun, will expand into red giants as they run out of hydrogen fuel. The outer layers of the star will expand, engulfing inner planets like Mercury and Venus. Eventually, the core of the star will collapse, leading to the formation of a white dwarf. High-mass stars, on the other hand, will undergo a more dramatic evolution. They will go through stages of fusion, creating heavier elements like carbon, oxygen, and even iron. Once a high-mass star reaches the iron core, it can no longer sustain fusion and will collapse under its own gravity. This collapse triggers a supernova explosion, where the outer layers of the star are ejected into space, enriching the universe with heavy elements. The core of the star will either form a neutron star or a black hole, depending on its mass. These stages of evolution in stars showcase the incredible diversity and complexity of the universe, highlighting the interconnectedness of all cosmic phenomena. As stars age, they eventually exhaust their nuclear fuel and begin to die. The death of a star depends on its mass. For low to medium mass stars like our Sun, the end of their life cycle is a relatively peaceful process. As the star runs out of hydrogen fuel in its core, it starts burning helium and expands into a red giant. Eventually, the outer layers of the star are expelled into space, forming a beautiful planetary nebula, while the core collapses to form a white dwarf. This white dwarf will slowly cool down over billions of years, eventually becoming a cold, dark remnant known as a black dwarf. On the other hand, high-mass stars have a more dramatic end. Once they exhaust their nuclear fuel, they undergo a series of violent events. The core collapses under its own gravity, leading to a supernova explosion that can outshine an entire galaxy for a brief period. What remains after the explosion can either be a neutron star or a black hole, depending on the mass of the core. Neutron stars are incredibly dense, with a mass greater than that of the Sun packed into a sphere the size of a city. Black holes, on the other hand, have such strong gravitational pull that not even light can escape from them. The death of stars is a crucial process in the universe, as it enriches the cosmos with heavy elements that are essential for the formation of new stars, planets, and even life itself. Stellar remnants are the final stage in the life cycle of a star. There are three main types of stellar remnants: white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. White dwarfs are the remnants of low to medium mass stars, like our Sun. After a star exhausts its nuclear fuel, it sheds its outer layers and the core collapses under gravity. The core becomes incredibly dense, with a mass comparable to the Sun, but compressed into a sphere the size of Earth. White dwarfs are hot when they form, but gradually cool over billions of years. Neutron stars are the remnants of massive stars that have undergone a supernova explosion. During the explosion, the core collapses and protons and electrons combine to form neutrons. Neutron stars are incredibly dense, with a mass greater than the Sun, but squeezed into a sphere only about 10 kilometers in diameter. They rotate rapidly and emit beams of radiation, known as pulsars. Black holes are the most extreme stellar remnants. They form when massive stars collapse under their own gravity, creating a region of space-time where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. Black holes come in different sizes, from stellar mass black holes to supermassive black holes found at the centers of galaxies. These stellar remnants play a crucial role in the evolution of galaxies and the universe as a whole, shaping the cosmic landscape in ways we are only beginning to understand. Supernovae are the explosive deaths of massive stars, releasing an immense amount of energy and creating elements essential for life. Some supernovae leave behind incredibly dense remnants known as black holes, where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. These mysterious objects continue to fascinate scientists and challenge our understanding of the universe. Black holes can grow by consuming nearby matter, forming accretion disks that emit powerful radiation. Studying supernovae and black holes provides valuable insights into the life cycles of stars and the extreme conditions in which they can exist.